June, but don't panic. There is still plenty of growing season left, plenty of time to sow and plant those fantastic fruits and veggies. It's now June, almost the end of the first week of June. And there is still plenty of sowings that you can be doing at this time of year. Again, it's really windy here. Even though it's going to be very hot today and I'm supposed to be wearing a hat, it keeps flying off. So today I need to start getting some of my winter veg sown or into the ground. It's my winter Savoy cabbages that I want. Something that I can pretty much keep in the ground through most of the winter into January, February. Now, each particular type of cabbage will have a different harvest date and to what frost tolerant it can be. So always check your seeds. So winter cabbages are a great one for starting now. Obviously, we've got all our summer, early autumn cabbages in the ground already, but I want to extend the season. Yes, I really do want that amount of cabbage. Another few great things to get into the ground at the moment is beetroots, your Swedes, kohlrabies, your French beans, your runner beans, your peas. You can all sow those directly into the ground at this time of year. I still use modules for a lot of my sowings simply because it helps with the initial pest issues. Fennel is another good one to be getting into the ground now. Now, I sowed some a couple of weeks ago and that is now into the ground. But I want to sow some more. I really do enjoy. I want to use it in some fermentation recipes, which hopefully will be coming soon. There is a whole manner of different things to sow at this time of year. And it's not just new things, it's also successional sowing. So I want to sow more beetroots, more basil, more coriander, more parsley. Again, more pak choi, since most of mine bolted. Your carrots. Now, we have managed to grow one large tub of carrots, but that other tub, literally about 8 or so carrots came up after the 4th attempt of re-sowing. So I've got a little bit of seed left, which I'm actually going to sow directly into one of my beds, which were fantastic carrots last year. And that's what I'm going to do again. I'm going to intersow. Now, this time of year, you're probably looking at your crops and thinking, I really have not got enough bed space. Where in fact, you probably have. Now, a lot of things can be intersown. So if you've got something that's going to be harvestable at the end of this month, if you get something in within a couple of weeks, by the time it strengthens up and maybe gets in the way of something else, you'll be harvesting the first lot of crops of whatever you've got in the ground. This way makes it a really good way to get as much from your ground as possible. A lot of the mistakes that people make, and me included, is to literally end up harvesting something and then going, oh, I've got nothing to put in the ground, and you've still got a month or two of growing season. Planning ahead is key. Growing in plugs as well, growing in cells, in modular cells, also helps with this because you can hold the plants back until you are ready for whatever crop you've got in there or ready to finish or to harvest. So that's exactly what I'm going to do today, is sow some extra crops. Successional planting is pretty much repeating what you've already done. So instead of getting all your harvest in one go, you'll get it spread out through the growing season. One of the great vegetables to do this with is beetroots. Now, I have beetroots in multiple different stages. I've got some in the ground that were planted very early on, which are just starting to bulb up really nicely. I've got another set which was sown about 3 to 4 weeks after that. And then I've got these ones which were sown about 3 weeks ago. Looking really healthy, and yes, they are multi-sown. Yes, they do transplant very well, and yes, they do grow fantastic beetroots. Another one for successional planting, so you have plenty of fresh produce, is your basils, your coriander, your parsleys, your soft-leafed herbs. Now that I've got space in some of my beds, these are the perfect size to carry on. And that's where your forward thinking goes. You should always be sowing throughout your growing season. Growing them in modules gives you a week or two grace period. So if you don't have the space, within a couple of weeks you probably will have them somewhere. That's why I love to grow this, because I'm very much a shove it in kind of grower. With such a dry spell, just keep an eye on your seedlings as well. Make sure they're really well watered. Now, if you water them very well at the first place, you probably won't have to water for a few days. But I know here it's been very hot and very windy, so my compost, my soil, my pots have been drying out really, really quickly. This will really slow down germination or even kill or stunt your plants. So make sure they've got plenty of water. So as you can see behind me, I have lots of successional planting. Now, you probably won't get it right in your first couple of years, and I still fail. It's all part of the course. But this really is a great way of filling in any of those gaps as you start to harvest the crops from your ground. But today, because these herbs are already starting to be established, I need to sow more of my soft herbs. But there is absolutely tons at this time of year that you can still be sowing. Even sowing your squashes and your pumpkins directly now, so long as it's within the first week or so of June, is a really perfect way of doing it too. So don't let the fear of it getting later in the season stop you from sowing. And don't sit back and forget about what you're going to be growing after you've actually done your harvest. Have a plan in mind. It might not go in exactly the way that you want it to, but it will really, really help you fill those gaps. What are you guys successional planting at home? What things have you just managed to catch up with? Let me know what you're doing in the first week of June this year. The weather's been very hit and miss. It's been a very slow growth to the early season, but I've really noticed a lot of things are just starting to pick up now. Always think ahead. You've still got your winter crops, your late autumn crops to start thinking about sowing as well. Get it planned, get it sown, get it growing. Don't forget guys, if you're enjoying the comment, like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. It really helps me grow this channel and to be able to do more and more things with it. This will notify you of any new videos that we're actually putting out as we go across the year.